Good morning. Thank you for joining VirtualPBX-admin training. If you're a vConsole customer, we no longer provide the live trainings for the vConsole. However, you can still find the recorded training. So if you go to the VirtualPBX website, you mouse over support, and then click on vConsole support. That takes you here. And if you scroll down, the advanced admin training is the complete training for our vConsole admins. And down below, you have the various guides for the various features and devices associated with the vConsole. Likewise, for our Dash customers, we have a Dash support page. And you can find the recorded training under the new user training here, as well as full guides based on features and devices. So let's go ahead and get logged in. Actually, I think I might already be logged into the wrong account. Yep. So let's get out of this one. All right, so here's your login page. You need your email address, your password, and then your account name, which is normally going to be your business name. Oops, it'll tell you, like, I got invalid credentials, likely because I didn't change my password. And if you ever forget, you can just click on Forgot Your Info. And we'll get our dashboard showing up here. Now, if you just signed up, you're going to get the new user wizard or the new account wizard. It's going to give you a brief overview of things. Once you close out of that, you'll come to this. If you ever need to switch things up here in the top right, the 3 horizontal line icon or hamburger menu. So we're on the dashboard right here. You have the queues if you're making use of ACD queues. The blacklists allow you to block numbers from contacting your system. You have your fax manager. The monitor lets you see activity on the account, basically who's on a call, who's not, that sort of thing. Call recordings, if you're making use of call recordings. The user portal, this is what every user has access to. Basically, they can use this to check their voicemail. They can set up their own call forwarding, etc. Voicemail manager gets you all to all the voicemails. And then webhooks if you're making use of APIs to link Dash to other software. But mostly you're going to be in the dashboard. That's going to be your primary area. So here we have total users. These are all the people you have on the account and that you're paying for. Users can have a variety of devices, VoIP or cell phone and landline. The main thing you have to worry about is if you're going to have users in an ACD queue. ACD queues only send calls to VoIP devices. So if a user has a combination of, say, a cell phone and VoIP phones, the queue calls will only go to their VoIP phones. Now, if they don't have any VoIP phones, then they're not going to get any queue calls. So that's something to keep in mind there. And then down below, we have total devices and the breakdown of the type of device. When you see the unregistered there at the bottom, that's just the system does not know if that device is working in some fashion. VoIP phones, if they're connected properly and set up properly, will show up green, and that'll let you know that they're connected. Otherwise, they show up as, if they're not connected to us properly, they show up as red under either the users or devices, which we'll get to. If they show up if a device shows up as black, that means it's been disabled on the dashboard. Over here to the right is main number. So these are the numbers your customers typically call to reach your system. These numbers all behave the same way. They all have the same routing, and they all have the same main greeting. You can have more than just the 2 numbers I have here. You can have only 1 if you want. You can have 20. It's completely up to you. All depends on how you're marketing your business. Down below here, we have the fax box number. This is for your inbound faxes. This is the number they go to. And then we have the breakdown of the numbers. So total numbers, assigned numbers, these are numbers you're using. These go someplace. So their main number, for example, or they go directly to a particular user. They can go to a ring group or an ACD queue, etc. Spare numbers are numbers on your account. You are being charged for them. However, they're not ringing anywhere. Basically, you're using them for future growth or future advertising campaign, that sort of thing. And then the next little circle is a breakdown. In this case, U.S. local numbers versus U.S. toll-free numbers. If you had international numbers, there would be another segment there. Company directory, these are the users that you have elected to be in the company directory. Any admin can change that at any time by adding or removing people from the user directory. And then you have a download link if necessary. The account ID, this is your account number. You can use that when you contact us, although typically if you're calling us, we just typically ask you for your company name and we look you up that way. The account realm, this is what you use to program a third-party VoIP device, basically a non-fully supported device. You also use this for faxing out. This is the domain that you would be using. And our latest addition here, this is your store discount code. Just by being a customer, you get a discount in our web store. Basically, if you want to buy VoIP phones, etc., you get a discount. Here we have caller ID. You select any of your main numbers. The caller ID name or CNAME, this is restricted to 15 characters, including spaces and special characters. And this gets sent out to the carriers in North America who support CNAME. Now, not every carrier supports CNAME, which means if a call routes through one of those carriers, your CNAME information will not go through. Even for the carriers who do support CNAME, it's the last priority, right? The first thing they worry about is connecting the call, obviously. The second thing they're going to make sure that happens is that the caller ID information goes through. And then last is the CNAME information. So if they're having higher than expected call volume, CNAME will drop, right? If they're having some kind of maintenance, again, CNAME will be the first thing they drop. When you update, or in this case, save changes here, the CNAME information will be sent out to those other carriers. It takes about 3 business days for them to get all updated. So it's not going to show up right away when you make test calls out. Down below that, we have our emergency 911 address, or E911. So when you pick up a VoIP phone, you dial 911. This is the default information that gets sent to emergency services. So you want to make sure this is correct. If you have people who work in remote locations from the home office, you can also they can have their own E911. So again, they can call from their own VoIP devices. Hold music. You can upload your own file, except .wav, .wav, or .mp3 files. You want to make sure they're recorded in mono, not in stereo, because when you listen to it over the phone, it's only going to be, listening to a file over the phone is a mono device. So if you have a stereo device or stereo recording trying to play over a mono device, you hear a lot of static. So that's why you want to record it in mono. Currently, we're restricted to 1 megabyte file sizes in terms of upload. An MP3 at 1 megabyte is roughly 5 minutes. One thing to keep in mind about hold music on Dash, when calls come in, right, your inbound caller, they hear ringing. This hold music is after one of your staff members has picked up the call and then pressed hold on their phone. This is the default music that's going to be playing. All right, looks like no one has shown up, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here.